Well, up next we're gonna be checking things all related to the Matric dance. Yes, it's the Matric dance season. Most of the Matric dances have happened, but most of them are going to be happening after the Matric final. So we're going to be diving into Molteno Couture, and we're gonna turn our attention to the sparkle, shimmer, and chemistry of South African fashion as the Matric dance season approaches. And Molteno Couture, founded by designer Rose Molteno, has launched a breathtaking new Matric Dance Collection, redefining youthful glamour through couture craftsmanship, from intricate 3D establishments to hand-beaded crystal detailing. Rose's designs are about more than style. It's also more about empowerment, self-expression, and celebrating life's milestones in elegance. Now that I love. Oh my gosh. Hello, Rose.
Hi there, how are you?
Good, and you?
Great, thank you.
Man, I'm sure you've been under a lot of stress, right?
Um, yeah, look, September was a bit intense.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the matric dances were in September, and to the beginning of October.
Mm-hmm.
But then we do still have some coming up in November and a couple in December. So yeah, different schools decide to have it at different times, which is good.
Man,
Also to have it spread
it's
out.
insane. It's insane. I mean, it's like this thing has become such a big thing, because I know back then
Mm.
it wasn't a big thing, but it was a big thing, and you're right.
Mm.
But I love the fact that you want to celebrate this milestone in elegance. Now, Rose, your Matric Dance Collection has already been described as redefining youthful glamour. What particularly inspired this line?
So I just actually did an evening wear collection for SA Menswear Fashion Week earlier this year. Um, and I was just inspired by the sparkle and 3D sort of details that people are interested in having on their dresses at the moment, as well as my own touch, which is I really love doing dip dyeing and ombre fabrics. So I had a little bit of something for everyone, some soft, romantic and dip dye dresses, as well as some like serious sparkle and soft tules mixed with fully beaded fabrics. It was fun. It was a little bit little bit of something for everyone. Um, and I since most of my business is custom made, I see so many different personalities and so many different ways that people want to express themselves, which is really fun. It keeps me really inspired, and always on my toes. So yeah, I just like to embrace all sorts of different things.
Well, our young, elegant, matric students, they're very indecisive and very impressionable. So it's very interesting that you've built this rapport with them every season of the matric dance, So it's very, very interesting. You've spent over 2 decades building a Molteno Couture. What keeps you creatively inspired and connected to new generations?
My gosh, what doesn't? I am I've actually only been running Molteno Couture for 15 years, but I have been in the fashion industry for about 20.
Okay,
Um,
that explains the two
so
decades.
yeah,
Mhm.
so I mean, I'm just a creative through and through. It's difficult to not be creative. My brain is, if I had more hours in the day, like I would make more things because I just absolutely love it. But also I'm constantly inspired by my clients. They're always
Mm.
coming to me with different ideas, and it's always like a little bit of a combination of inspired by this dress and by that dress, and you know we combine different elements to create something that is like purely them, and then they want it in this color, and then we have to go and see what fabrics are available, and obviously that dictates the dress. So, I mean, yeah, I'm inspired by life, and by my clients.
And
There's definitely no shortage of inspiration.
and speaking of that, like getting ideas when they come with ideas. There are some designers, like to start afresh. And you
Mm.
don't completely mind when they come and say, I saw this, please can we stick to this idea? So
I don't think any designer would start without any reference pictures,
right.
because the thing is, it's very difficult to explain to somebody in words what you have in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And usually people have, I mean, see, look, I do have the occasional client who comes to see me and they really have absolutely no clue whatsoever what they want. That's actually more commonly the brides. The matric girls have generally spent a lot of time researching and collecting pictures of things that they like.
Right.
But so there is the occasional person that doesn't know what they want at all, and in that case, I've got a massive showroom full of dresses, and then I say, okay, cool, let's just dive in, and let's look at my samples that we've got, and let's pull out anything that you like, even if it's just the skirt that you like, or you just like this type of beading, or and then we will try on loads of dresses, and from there we'll start to whittle down. Okay, you like this, you don't like that. But yeah, it's I think most designers, if they're going to be, I don't know what anyone else's process is, but if I'm going to be doing a custom garment, I
Yeah.
definitely want to see some images of the sort of thing that the person likes, so that I can get a clearer idea. Otherwise, things can
Right.
get lost in communication.
Right. So now, how does
Molteno?
Molteno Couture incorporate traditional artistry while maintaining a global modern aesthetic?
So I think in South Africa at the moment we're seeing a huge influence from the other African countries. Interestingly enough, I would say from Nigerian fashion, Ghanaian, um, um, uh, DRC Congo, a lot of those countries, they have a very, very bold aesthetic. They do
Mm,
bright colors,
right.
big shapes, big
Mm,
3D, like either 3D beading or like very voluminous sleeves. They often use those African fabrics that have got a lot of body to them.
the Ankara
So
fabrics, yeah.
yeah, so they're able to do these, very big, bold shapes, often sleeves or just big 3D details. And I'm seeing that has been picked up in South Africa hugely, which is very, very cool. Um, People are not scared to go big, go big, literally go big.
Yeah, well, it's a nice
Um,
playground, hey, of fashion, honestly.
it's awesome, and it's not, you know, I think it is picked up somewhat elsewhere in the world, but I think it is also quite unique to here, that particular element. But then the sort of the European styling of that would be more going into the 3D beadwork, the beading.
Right, and that takes a lot of work because a lot of it has to be
Yeah.
hand done. Now, speaking of your designs are worn by celebrities and now students alike. What
Hmm.
does inclusivity in luxury fashion mean to you today?
So when I'm talking about inclusivity, I'm talking about body inclusivity. So I don't only work with people who are stick thin. I
Right,
work
yes.
with a lot of plus size, a lot of curvy women, both for matric dance and bridal. And in that process, we've really refined the art of making expert corsetry, so that that my clients can feel really great being cinched in and their busts filled. Um, and then I talk about inclusivity in obviously the sort of the race and um, gender identification, of my clients. I have worked with a lot of gay couples when it comes to
Right.
weddings. Um, you know, inclusivity, um, there's so many different angles to it, but
Right.
I love the diversity of people. What is it's
Mm.
something that I love about South Africa is
Mm.
how diverse we are in
Mm.
culture, in views, and we're able to talk about it without getting um I think I think we're actually very good in South Africa with having an open dialogue in comparison to some places in the rest of the world.
Absolutely.
So
The
yeah.
appearance dialogue is a very important one. And I think we've
Mm,
found our own language in terms of how to navigate those conversations, you know. So, yeah, you're right. We're very
yeah.
diverse, and
Mm,
inclusivity is very, very important, especially when it
mm,
comes to fashion, you know, because everybody wants to have accessibility to beautiful things, you know. And
yeah.
yeah, and I find that, you know, us, because I'm a big fan of supporting local brands. Honestly, I'm a huge fan, right? Because of that inclusivity, you know. So, and I think that's amazing. Now, Rose, I want to ask you a very important question.
Mm,
So, I want to know if I want to bring, say, let's say my daughter is going to be of age and is going we're approaching Matric Dance season, and I would
mm.
like her to wear a Molteno Couture. What's my budget like? What do I need to put aside? I know it's going to depend on the design and so forth, and the textures that you use, you know,
Mm.
material, but a ballpark.
Yeah, so custom made generally starts from about 10 and goes up to, it could go up to 30 um depending on how extravagant the dress is.
Right. Yeah,
At the
because kids are
moment the
going very
girls,
extravagant these days. Yeah, so
I tell you, it's like fully beaded with crystals on top of that and extra.
sparkle,
So we have
sparkle.
to, yeah. So, um, fabrics obviously are expensive, and beadwork and hand beadwork obviously takes a long time. So, that's the main thing. But, that's what I also try and educate my clients on is, and again, that's why I need reference pictures, is because
Right.
sometimes somebody sends me this fully beaded, crazy, extravagant dress. Um, and I'm like, yo, that's a crazy expensive dress. But then they actually mean like, no, they don't really need it to be that embellished. They actually just like the shape more. So,
So it makes a lot of
yeah,
sense. Yeah. I mean, as you know, as South Africans, we're very extravagant heroes.
yeah,
People don't know this about South Africans. We're very, very
yeah,
extravagant. So that would make sense. Thank you for giving me the ballpark. You know, in wrapping it up,
yeah.
what advice do you have for young South Africans dreaming of entering the fashion industry, especially those who want to blend passion and purpose?
You know what? It's being an entrepreneur is not as glamorous as people may think it is.
Absolutely.
It is hard work. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I guess my advice would be do it if you if you really, really, really love it, and you're prepared to work flipping hard, and you're prepared to not necessarily get like instant payoff. It's the honest truth is it's a hard graft, but I can't imagine my life without without creating garments. I live and breathe for it.
Mm.
Um, so if you're passionate about it, you will make it happen. Um, but just be prepared to work hard.
Yeah, absolutely. There's never a manual of this thing of being an entrepreneur. You know, you just
No,
got to instill some discipline. And we just appreciate you, Rose, for being in pursuit of being the master of your craft. And, you know, 15 years later in Molteno Couture, maybe I wish you many more years, honestly. And I pray that I do come to you. You know, I
thank
hope
you.
that my child will be more decisive and knows what's the story, and we give her a budget and we come to you and we get a
Yeah,
beautiful dress, you know. So thank you
yeah.
so much for spending the time with us, and I wish you all best. And thank you
Thank
for
you so
this
much.
advice, because, man, being an entrepreneur is not easy. And I hope people understand that. And I just hope that you continue the enjoyment of, interacting with your clients, because I guess that is, that's the fruitful part of being an
Mm.
entrepreneur. But then, you got to keep grinding at the end of the day. Yeah. Thank you so much. That was Rose from Molteno Couture right here on Channel Africa. My name is Kitty Pate. We're going to go into news in just a moment, but we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to head to news with Matapet.
The Morning Switch Weekend.